All right. Where are we at? We are at episode 2 of Puapathon Live recap. EthDenver. This is awesome. And we're joined by Austin, friend of Puapathon, as we are big fans of rev.ggg. GGG. Austin, hello.
Hey, how is everybody?
Doing
Doing
good. Doing
good.
good.
Good to have you back on, man. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
happy to be
absolutely.
here.
Now we're gonna have to explain something out of the gate here. And I should stop slouching. We kind of messed up the timeline on this based on availability and all this stuff. So we're getting the update before the interview here. So it's going to be interesting.
We are bending time and space to get the
That's
word
right.
out to the people.
Yes, absolutely. So I think what we want to hit on first. How was your time at EthDenver 2023?
My first response is that it was cold. So I live in Texas and I have thin blood. And so if I go anywhere cold, like immediately it just overwhelms me. My second is that I'm glad I had comfortable shoes. I was there for the before the event officially kicked off, and there was a lot of walking. So I got my steps in. I had my pedometer on, but then the overwhelming sentiment was that it was an amazing time to meet a lot of people. Unfortunately, we didn't actually. Our schedule is kind of. You were coming in as I was leaving. I probably waved to you as I was on my plane, and you were landing.
Right.
But
yeah, we saw each other in the
air. Exactly. It was an amazing time. That was my first conference, as I think I mentioned in the recording. And so it was a great way to kick off kind of like my first foray into this.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Awesome. So what were the highlights?
Oh gosh. I mean, I think every day had highlights. Trying to remember.
That's good.
Yeah.
Every day didn't have highlights for me. So
well, I imagine it was stressful at times with the internet and stuff.
That's for sure.
But I think the things that I loved the most, like at the conference, it was cool to see like a whole section dedicated to gaming, which is a part that Rev is really focused in on. Had a lot of great conversations there. Talked to a number of people that are in the space, in the gaming space, NFT space, and they love and like a lot of the conversations that they were having on stage was about badges, POAPs, NFTs, whatever it may be, as a way to understand your audience and engage with them. So I thought that was really cool. Is like the message and vision of Rev. They were speaking it. I think the ZK Sync did a really cool job, and like I love a lot of the account abstraction side of conversations that were being had, along with zero knowledge. My list could go on and on.
Yeah. Wasn't there ZK Bob or something like that?
I don't know. I didn't meet him.
There is a company, I think, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to any side events? So like other than being at the actual conference, did you have enough time to be able to go to anything on the side, be able to interact with people in a more like intimate setting?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it intimate, but a lot of loud music conversations being had. But yeah, that was kind of where I spent the majority of my time, just because I got there before the event officially kicked off. And that's where, like a lot of great one-on-one type of conversations or one-on-four.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. I guess maybe I used bad wording, sure, but yeah, no. You had good one-on-ones.
Yeah, it was.
That's good.
Yeah, I met a lot of interesting people, so it was great.
Cool. Like, did you make any like connections that you're gonna like keep and like build upon, or how did that all go? Like, what's the aftermath of those conversations that you had?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were interested in Rev. Like I was talking to them just briefly, because it came up in certain conversations, and they really like the vision, the overall message of Rev, which we talk a little bit about here in our interview. And so it was cool to see that, when I started off with Rev, it started with one vision, and now it's kind of morphed into this other one. And ultimately, it comes down to supporting creators, communities, wherever they're at, through a lot of different uh, methods, distributions, and integrations, that type of stuff. And so, yeah, I talked to some game studios. There's conversations there. There's people who are investors in the space, or whether it be gaming or crypto, blockchain, or the creator economy. That those are conversations that are still being had. Yeah, so a lot of basically everyone that I met, it felt like there was some sort of synergy with me, whether what I'm doing professionally or with Rev.
That's fantastic. Wow. Were there booths set up at that point, or no? They were just
yes,
setting up at that point, or
yeah. So I was there the first day, and then the morning of the second day.
okay. So that's when everything was laid out. Now,
Yeah, so
you-
that would have been like main event time, right?
Yeah,
The first day and first part of the first day. Okay.
you left Thursday, right?
I left Friday morning. So I was there
Friday
the
morning.
first,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the first day. Got to do my laps around, meet people, and yeah, and then basically the next morning I left.
Now,
So
question.
Okay, you can go ahead, Beast of Dawn. You can go with your question first.
I'll save mine. Go ahead, Mr.
Okay, so here is my question for you, Austin. After your experience at EthDenver and all the conversations that you're having, you come home and you're sitting at your desk and you're going, all right, what's the next thing I'm going to do with Rev? Is there any sort of spark of inspiration that you got through your conversations that you may want to implement into your platform?
Yes, 100%. I'm just thinking how I don't want to give too much away. So I think I may
We don't get to
reserve
see your
it.
whiteboard.
Come on. We got to see the whole.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I'll say that Rev, going back to like our mission of supporting creators, there is another element that is outside of like being able for them to interact with their community in a token gated experience, and recognizing them through badges. There's another element to supporting creators that we are actively exploring, and part of my time at EthDenver was to understand how that integration would work, and if there was market interest. Sorry, that's all I can give.
Okay.
That's okay. We have some alpha in the interview.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you show us a lot of really
It's
cool
only
stuff.
been 2 weeks, so
That's true. There's always stuff cooking up there.
Yeah,
it's awesome. That's right. Do we have any more questions before we just roll the interview?
I don't really have anything in particular. I mean, I don't want to take too much of Austin's time. I know he's a bit busy here very momentarily. So I just want to say thanks for coming on, sharing extra time with us, giving us, the post EthDenver. So maybe it's time to kind of look at pre EthDenver and also look at what Rev has to offer coming up.
Awesome. Okay. Well,
cool. And then
again, thanks for coming on. Anything you want to mention before we let you go?
Yeah, I think kind of addressing last week the bugs that people were experiencing. So I'll try to keep this short. Basically, YouTube has rolled out usernames for everybody, and the way that Rev works, we started storing that, assuming that YouTube, when you type comments, that those comments are going to be associated with your username, not your display name, which is actually what's appearing over on the side. And so now if you go into your Rev account, you can go to your profile, find the YouTube square, click X in the top right, and then relink your YouTube account. And then from there, you should be good with typing in the claim command into chat for today, as well as any previous POAPs that you're eligible for. You can go to your profile, click in the top left, and then go down to unclaimed, my unclaimed, and you should see all of last week's POAPs that you are eligible for. So sorry about that small hiccup.
That's okay.
But we should be good.
You're busy.
I mean, you know, you
Awesome.
got it done, right? You know, it's all about, oh, here's an issue, time to fix it. You know, there's some entities out there, you know, they have a problem. It takes them forever to finally implement it. And you were attentive and you're like, oh, this is the problem. Well, okay, well, let me get it fixed. So it's always good to see.
Thanks.
Really appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see.
Cool. Well, I'll probably stick around for a little bit to watch my interview and see what I was saying back then. Even though it was only
Yes.
way back then. Yeah.
3 weeks ago. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Hey, cheers, Austin. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Likewise. Bye.
Well, here we are. Awesome interviewee we have here. Founder of rev.gg, Mr. Austin, NFT, if you know him online. And he is here to update us on rev.gg, which is probably one of our favorite distribution services for what we do around Puapathon, which is POAPs. So welcome, Austin. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. I know you're super busy. There's a lot going on. So
thanks for having me.
Let's lead in, Mr. Mojo. What do we have to talk about with Austin today?
Oh, there's so much to talk about with him.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a lot of questions that we have for you, and we're gonna have you answer them and tell people what's going on with Rev, showcase a few things, and I think we're gonna have a great time. But I think we definitely just want to start off with, you know, just tell us, like, what is Rev? What's the main concept of it? Just introduce us to Rev.
Yeah, I mean, we'll even beast it on saying that a lot has happened of late. Is even true of like the narrative and how I describe Rev to people. So now the way that I like to share Rev with people is that we are focused on empowering connections within the creator economy. Whereas before we were focused on streamers. So now it's kind of like a bigger, broader vision and an ambitious vision. And so what those connections look like within the creator economy is strengthening the connection between a community and their favorite creators through token gated experiences, allowing a creator to know when, where, and how their audience is engaging with them. But then even beyond that, kind of our next, I'd say, goal or ambition is to allow brands, Web3 brands specifically, that work with content creators to understand kind of the analytics behind that partnership with their favorite creators. So pretty cool stuff. We also have a lot of other different things that we're doing that revolve a little bit around POAPs, but really the focus is on bringing a community in and having them further engage with their favorite creators.
Yeah,
That
that's great.
Really excellent.
And we'll go ahead and we'll move on to that in a little bit, because I know you have a like you spoke on your paradigm of it, and I'm in love with it, because you know there's a marriage there that's kind of happening between people that don't know anything about Web3, but they do say they get a badge for name your favorite Twitch streamer, so like I think that's fun. I think it's clever. So I guess let's move into that kind of that paradigm shift that you're kind of working with what you're doing at RevGG.
Yeah, I mean, really, like the origin of Rev, I think, speaks volumes of what we're trying to do as well, which is that one, I started my career within the sports industry. I worked for a local soccer team, professional soccer team. And I noticed that like a great way to take a casual fan and attendee of a match and turn them into a diehard fan was to give them sort of some sort of VIP like experience. And it could be as simple as like a stadium tour before or after a match, doing a player signing, doing some sort of event during halftime, like simple things like that, but had huge impact when it came to the emotional connection between that fan, that individual, with the brand or with the team. And so really what I noticed with content creators specifically, as I was watching streamers on Twitch, I noticed that there was really a one-way relationship to a degree between the creator and their community. You would give donations, you would subscribe, you could have like, that was your touch point. But I thought, there could be more here that mimics what brands are doing in real life, like the soccer team I worked for. And so how can we make that possible? Well, first we have to be able to identify who the audience is, who the community is that's showing up day in and day out and adding value to the community. And so that was the first thing. And I thought, around that same time, I was getting exposed to POAPs, and I thought they were amazing. Like I remember specifically, and I shared it on our last call, is that one of my first exposures was through Sushi Swap, and I found this psychological pull to attend every AMA or call that I could because I wanted this POAP. And so, so not only that, but like as I've started to build out Rev, understand that there's more value than just a cool collectible for everyone involved.
Yeah, that sounds exactly right. Now, I do have to ask. You played soccer, right? You just kind of looked the part. Gotta say, that's really cool. It's certainly like insight that I don't think many people knew as far as kind of the. Again, I'll use the word clever because I think you're a very clever person in your implementation and everything that's going on. I know there was a couple other things we wanted to hit on. Mr. Mojo.
Sure.
What do we have? Yeah.
So I kind of just want to build on, sort of you taking that experience of working for the professional soccer team, and you're sort of seeing these things that they're doing to enhance the experience. So I want to know, let's kind of pick at that a little bit. What did you learn from that and experience building that really integrated the approach? Like how did you integrate those things into your approach with Rev? What is it that you're doing, that you're implementing?
Yeah, I think, an analogy that sums up a little bit of what I'm doing as well is, and it's pretty relevant because we're all going to EthDenver, so we're going to get on a flight, unless you live close by. You may be driving, but we're all getting on a flight. And so I picture Rev as a free flight upgrade for people. So this is a way for a brand, whoever you're flying, to recognize you as a customer. Like they're probably not giving this to people who aren't, loyal customers of that brand. Maybe they are. That'd be cool. First flight, you're flying first class.
Yeah.
But I think what's cool about that is that it's a free, for you as the person flying, it's a free experience for you. And it's an amazing one. It's a cool one. You feel recognized with that. But it's the key word is that it's, yeah. I actually remember flying from Denver to Houston and as a little kid, and I got a free flight upgrade. My parents and family were in coach, but
nice.
But you got to sit.
Did you get the little wings too?
I got
remember
growing
the little
up,
wings? Yeah.
But I remember, like, it's so funny. I remember having cold pasta salad on that flight, and like I was in 8th grade, so this is years ago. So it sticks with you, but so that's like hitting on the psychology part that I talked about earlier.
Sure.
But I think an important part is that it's free. And so I feel like a lot of the Web3 space, and it's shifting, which is great, is focused on like the monetization aspect of things first.
Value
Unfortunately,
extraction.
You see,
I
like,
agree with that.
Unfortunately, to like play a game, you first had to buy an NFT. To interact with a content creator, you had to buy their creator tokens or buy an NFT to get into a Discord. But like, to me, Web3 is so new that why are we having people invest in it to be able to experience it for the first time?
Sure.
And so that's where I think it's a free flight upgrade, is that through Rev, we want to give people who are just now getting into the Web3 space a free experience first to understand what it's like. So what that looks like is, hey, watch my stream, collect this POAP. We call them badges on the website. So if I use that word, it's interchangeable. But if you collect this badge, you get possibly get to enter a raffle,
perks,
a private Discord channel. And so that's cool. Like, then you start to understand, like, oh, this is really cool. This unlocks stuff for me. And it's not a rug pull. It's not a scam. And then later on, like down the road, we have to understand that this is a long journey. And so
for sure. Well, for some of us, including yourself, probably, it's already been a long journey. If you've been at this for a couple of years, it's a constantly changing landscape. So
but we have so much longer to go. Like 1-2% of people onboarded into Web3, and so like, let's just let people understand what this is like for free, and then and that's like a bigger vision of Rev, is as people understand what it's like, maybe there's an opportunity to capitalize on that and have them pay for things, whether it's a membership NFT, creator tokens, not really a fan of, but maybe it's that as well. But I think it's that initial like gateway in, and I think this is like one thing that I really love about Rev is one, that approach, but two, also catering to everyone wherever they are in their Web3 journey. Like, I tell people my favorite feature on Rev is the Gnosis safe integration that we have, to where someone who may be skeptical of Web3 or doesn't want to download MetaMask, Rainbow Wallet, whatever it may be, you can join, you can collect badges, you own them, they're on the blockchain, you get to participate in token gated experiences. But like, it is a Web3 experience. Just people don't fully understand that. And I think, that's the narrative that's shifting, which is really cool to see in the space.
It is. It's very good. I really like the analogy that you made of it's kind of a free flight upgrade.
Like, imagine
I think it can resonate with Normans or normies or whatever you want to call them. But
I mean, like, imagine if you had to pay to test drive a car, or like pay to buy to tour a house. Like, how silly is that? but yet we are kind of doing that with Web3. So for what it's worth,
it's gonna be interesting. Go ahead.
With this model too, you're rewarding people for participating and for showing interest and for acting upon that interest. Instead, like we've been saying, you don't want to pay to test drive a car, but like, if you're interested in that vehicle, maybe you want to try it out. And with Rev, you're giving people that opportunity to actually come in and integrate and sort of understand how things work. And I think it's wonderful.
And if you love it, you will pay for it. Like, I have creators that I sponsor on Patreon because I love their stuff. You buy cars, you take plane trips, all that sort of stuff.
And while we won't get into it on this recording, there's going to be a POAP that you commissioned via POApathon that we'll be giving out here shortly. So thank you for that. First and foremost, because we love to give our community things to do. Kind of keeps us all kind of happy and whistling and whatnot. But I just want to like thank you also, because like we use Rev. We're using Rev today Now this is recording, but on the day we broadcast this, we will be using Rev to distribute. So tip of the hat.
Thanks.
Really great work.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Mr. Mojo.
Maybe actually we could kind of hit it. So like we are going to be using Rev, as Bisadon said, to distribute all of our POAPs for Popathon Live today. Maybe you sort of want to tell us, like, how can people do that? How can they make it easier on themselves to be able to claim their POAPs throughout our show today?
Yeah. So all the distribution methods that we have on Rev, that includes Twitch, YouTube, Twitter Spaces, Discord, in real life event. We have QR code, secret word, like all that sort of stuff. The goal of all that is not to have a long resume, but rather to meet communities where they're at and where they engage. But the way that you do it with Twitch and YouTube is you type a specific claim command into chat, and that is basically, what I was saying is that everything requires a specific action, and so we want people to
engagement.
Be engaged, be listening. And so with Twitch, with YouTube, you type a specific claim command into chat during a specific window that's defined by the creator, and then you follow a link. What you do is you connect then your YouTube to Rev, and then from there we require a one-time human verification, which is a way in which we want to keep the community, like Rev as a whole, authentic, and the people claiming your badge, because if you're doing a raffle, doing some sort of special experience, you want that to go back to people who are adding value to your community already. There's nothing more disheartening than, I see some raffles on Twitter that are like, hey, like, comment, and you're entered, and like I'd be curious to know how many people are, one, following that creator and didn't just stumble upon it, or are farming it, but then two, how many people are actually consistent community members that are adding value to the community already. And so that's where I think POAPs are so great, is because one, they're free, but then two, they allow for so many cool things, which is like giving away raffles and making sure that it goes to people who are already adding value.
Or giving someone access IRL to an event as well, right? I mean, like it's not just an online thing. Obviously, you can gate IRL events and whatnot. So yeah.
But then I'll share this. You asked how can they make it more efficient. We actually have a feature, if you go to your profile settings, to select to auto mint every POAP that you're eligible for. So once you set that up, you turn it on, you put in your wallet address. And the reason why, and this was added at the very, very beginning of Rev, is because we want POAPs to be a value add. We don't want it to be a distraction. Like, we want these interviews to be the focus. And so if you are then typing a command in, following a link, and copy pasting your wallet address, like, though it's only 30 seconds at most, it still is, you're shifting your brain, you're not adding to the community. So anyways,
you just put in your command, and that's all you got to think about. Right.
Exactly.
You just put whatever it is, and there you go. It's in your wallet. You don't got to worry about it.
Well, and we'll be hot dropping these all day, broadcast day. So it is nice because we will. We're talking engagement here. Drop them at the end of the interview. Maybe you got that window, maybe you didn't. But if you were there, if you were attending, if you are here today, you will have access to claim. I don't know. I think it's really good. I think it's really smart, engagement wise. And now, did you want to share some of the alpha that you have?
What's next for Rev? I'm very interested. Like, what are things that you're working on? What can we expect to come from Rev here in the next few weeks, months,
And be
or whatever.
careful.
What are
Be
you working
careful.
on? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll preface by everything saying that
Sure.
this is all still very early. Like
It's very new.
this is
Yeah.
actually, you're probably the fourth person to see this.
Well, the
Oh, boy.
400th now. The 400th
Yeah.
now. As
So-
we're airing on Friday. But yeah.
So yeah, so this is the profile page on Rev. It was actually just released on Friday of last week, and
Awesome.
it
Awesome.
serves as a central hub for a few things, and you can
Mhm.
probably guess what those are a little bit within the tabs. But first, we highlight the creator, who it is. This is my profile. Got links to my social, and then we can start to see the badges that I've dropped, the POAPs that I've dropped
Mhm.
to my community. I can actually hide them, so there's some that are not visible here, but the ones you
Very
see
cool.
here are pretty cool. Like I gave a live demo, and so people who went to a live demo on rev.gg, like they got this badge. So I think that's super cool, and people will be able to in the future connect their wallet, will say which ones they have, which ones they don't, and so they can start to
Yeah.
understand like, oh, cool, like maybe this one's for a Twitter space that I did, and so now
Sure.
I'm going to the Twitter spaces because I see that you're dropping POAPs there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's not new necessarily, but this
Not
stuff,
new, but cool.
yeah. And this is, to me, I've been getting more and more into dynamic NFTs, not just from a data perspective, but also can we manipulate the artwork of an NFT?
Yeah,
Right.
can you explain what is a dynamic NFT? I don't quite understand what that is. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So I didn't coin the phrase. I actually learned it through I think a chain link video that I watched. So I'm actually excited because at EthDenver, they're doing a very similar talk. So I already have it in my calendar. So
Very good.
feel free to,
Yeah.
that's a little
Attend
plug
that
if you
one,
want to.
right,
Yeah. And then I got my IYK card here. So
excellent,
there
yeah.
you go. We love
Yeah,
them. We love them.
hold on. Yep, I got mine
They
here.
they definitely helped us out last year's NFT NYC. They're really inspirational as well.
Nice. Yeah. So the team worked with me on you scan it and you can actually mint this on rev.gg. So, which is a cool partnership that they've temporarily allowed. But anyways, so dynamic NFTs take on-chain or off-chain data, and then you can update the metadata within an NFT, or as I've been doing, the actual artwork, which I
Now,
think is really cool. Go on.
It is. It is. No. I was going to say we have interviewed. There's an artist, I believe they are from either Australia. I think it's Australia, Mully. But they have been manipulating. They created a a project of eggs, which is kind of like oh boy, it's in the kind of Roblox 3D realm, say. But they will update their project with like gifts, like they did for Christmas. It's like the eggs cracking, but there's gifts around it and stuff like that. Really talented. I really love that where NFTs are going in that respect. It seems very cool that you can kind of essentially code. You're essentially kind of coding NFTs, which is cool in my opinion. So I love that.
Yeah. And
so what
are these membership cards, are these how you're using dynamic NFTs right now?
Yeah. So this is one way that communities in the I've already pitched it to a few people, how they can start to engage their community. And so what's cool is like this person right here. The key things you'll notice is like a progress bar, a tier right here, but you can click in and we see,
oh, cool,
their gold tier. They've collected 14 of the badges launched by rev.gg. So it's per community. It's not just like your overall POAP count. But then what's cool is that, all this is dynamically generated. Like
cool. Yeah.
the
So it's
text,
able to like update as it needs to update. That is
and it
so cool.
runs. Yeah, it runs. Currently, it runs every a certain cadence, like every hour, every day, something like that.
Right.
But in the near future, like there's no reason why this can't update on demand. Like as someone is claiming, maybe the Poapathon badge, then this updates automatically. So, which is cool. I think
it's incredible.
What's great is that like one use case is instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do a Discord channel and you have to have 20 POAPs to be able to enter. Like, why can't you just say they have to be a gold rank or above? Like, I think it adds, it's much easier as you get into the scale in which people are collecting POAPs, which is great. But I think, like people are collecting a lot of POAPs and that has its own challenge. And I think the challenge is understanding where you fit in terms of the overall, like how many have I collected, showing that off versus taking a screenshot of everything. Like, why can't I just send you my membership card and it tells you all this information?
Sure.
Yeah. That's a very good use case you bring up, because something like, for example, like POAP art pixel canvases, like people have sat there and like, okay, what all POAPs are we going to use for this art canvas? And they literally point out like 100 POAPs, and it would be so much easier if you could just say, oh, well, if you have this membership card that encapsulates, maybe 50 of them or whatever, and it makes your work way less. It's just a great idea if you ask me.
No, it is great. It is great. And then you have all those little caveats with say a painting party where you get, I can place a pixel every some odd seconds based on how many collectibles you have.
Yep. All right. I also want to we don't have too much time with you, Austin. So I do want to touch on the next thing that we want to talk about. So you want to show off some tournament cards. I just want to know what are those and what can we do?
This was a new one. Yeah, this was a new one.
Yeah, I think to me, well, let me finish on this page real quick. Just highlight a few things. Like, we also want to provide with creators a way to show off their partnerships. So here's just a demo. I don't have a partnership with Illuvium. It'd be cool if I did.
Have you played it? That was one that I was kind of excited for as like a former, Magic the Gathering card player. I thought, but I haven't checked in on the project for a while. But yeah, I'm an Illuvium fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I don't game that much, so I didn't get super into it. Busy with a lot of other things.
Of course, yeah, same. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think with this, you can gate certain like assets for a partner. Like this is again all a demo, so none of it really works. But you could say like the badges that unlock, you have to have this special live demo, and maybe that unlocked this NFT and this one. Otherwise, you can just purchase the original, NFT on OpenSea. So it gives people like a little bit of an incentive, and this is where we're starting to branch into allowing creators to work with brands and showcase that in a cool way, and use Web3. But then the other thing, which this isn't totally new either, it's very similar to Patreon, to where you can upload content and again gate it with certain badges. But I think it's cool. Maybe it's like you keep updating this and you add more and more people, and so if you have one specific POAP, you get access, and then the next day, and so you kind of gamify it a little bit to where people want to collect as many badges as they possible, which also means they're adding value to the community by being there, being present. And there's cool perks for that. But
so cool. All right. So we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. What's the future? What's the future? You've done so much at this point. How do you just keep churning out ideas?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think I'd say that just my interest in this space helps me think of new ideas. Like when you're passionate about a company, when you're passionate about an idea, whatever it may be in organization, you just like think on it constantly, day and night. But also part of me, I enjoy tinkering and like
it's troubling sometimes, actually,
Yeah.
where you're like, I can't go to bed. I have to write this down.
Exactly. My whiteboard over here is like everything that I have in my brain.
Don't show us. Don't show us. The thing is probably a rat's nest over there.
So yeah, I think one thing is just passion, and then also I give myself space to like revs out of space where I can explore this stuff, which is great. You know, I'm looking to, you know, hopefully, I guess, get more and more into communities and work with them. But, you know, for right now, I have a little bit of spare time and I spend it on like thinking, what do communities want? How can they engage with how can a creator engage with their community, their audience more and more?
For sure.
And so I forgot where I had another thought along that, but
I'm sure they start to pile up.
But I think it's great.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really cool is that, you know, I have these calls, these conversations, like every creator that gets onboarded onto Rev, I have a 30-minute call with them at least. It normally goes to like 45 minutes or an hour, just because I dedicate the last bit to brainstorming with them. Like, how do you want to engage with your community? Where are you engaging with them? What are the things that you're doing now? Like, can Rev add value to that? And so to me,
it's got to be great insight.
These are derived from those conversations.
Yep. That's fantastic. Excellent. Well, I know you're busy. So we will close out here.
As we close out.
This is Austin,
I actually have
AKA
one more
NFT.
question.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
I have one more question.
People are hungry for POAP. You know that.
Let's exit with this question. So, you know, we're a few days before we get to Denver and everything, but I want to know, what are your plans for being there at the conference? What are you going to do?
Great question.
What are you looking forward to? And I think we'll exit out with that one.
Yeah, it's a great question. So this will be my first conference that I've been to. Probably period in like my whole career.
Oh, nice. You're always going to remember the first one.
Well, you're coming very equipped.
Do a good one.
You have your own product to peddle.
I think
no offense meant by that, but you know, like,
I think less time is going to be spent on peddling Rev or anything like that, but more just like networking with people in the industry. Just in as a whole. Like, I think, you know, I shared one of the talks that I'm going to as well, which learning from, again, going back to the question you just asked, like what's next, I think understanding what people are thinking about right now is where I'm at in like my dev technical experiences. Like, I want to understand what the thought leaders are talking about, and then trying to build something based on those like very cool ideas. And so
kind of understanding emerging paradigms, right?
Like ZK, zero knowledge, I think is really interesting. I think even beyond that, like privacy, like I'd love to go to a few of those conversations. I know we're a little bit of ways away from them, but I think like those are cool things that I want to understand where the market's moving, what people are interested in. And so not only networking with people, but, you know, going to these talks.
All right. Well, save some of that brain power, because I think when you're grabbing your badge, which by the time this airs, we'll all already have our badges and everything, but just remember that in line when you're hearing you know, people pitch the stupidest ideas.
I look forward to the next rug getting pitched to me.
Yes.
The next rug.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's exciting. It's always exciting to talk to you, Austin. Thanks so much for giving us this time and literally helping out Puapathon with you know, your the service that you founded. We really appreciate you. And I guess we'll stay tuned here for your POAP that will be given shortly after we close the doors on this extra secret, extra alpha meeting with rev.gg.
Yeah,
Again,
look forward to
again,
meeting you guys.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
thanks so much. We already planned it. We're gonna get a selfie, which we may just air it after this segment.
Yep.
If we're able to. Mr. Mojo, you want to close us out? Do you have anything
sure.
else?
I just want to thank Austin for coming on, talking to us about Rev, what he's doing, and excited to meet you in person. And I guess we're going back live, so I guess we'll see you in the live portion.
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah. Well, there it was.
Yep. Now we're back in the live portion. Hello, everybody. We're bending space-time once again to come back to you in the current day. I think we recorded that, about a month ago now. We were able to get that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to show it off in our original plan, but, hey, it's all good.
Yeah, something happened in my video. Looks good on my end, but I'm now in 240p.
It's all right.
That was a great interview.
Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to be able to speak with Austin and just hear what he's doing and see how he's developing Rev even more. I was glad to be able to also speak with him today as well, just getting an update. And as we've been joking around, bending the fabric of space and time and doing it kind of backwards, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll make the master cut sometime that puts it all in.
Yeah, just puts it all correctly. That's right. Well,
I guess without further ado, let's start the POAP.
POAP time. Ooh, yay, win POAP. Win
Yeah.
POAP. I would love POAP, please.
So we'll get that prepared here.
Here we go. All right.
What was your favorite part of the interview, Mr. Mojo?
Let's see here. Whenever he was showing off the dynamic NFTs,
yeah,
I thought that was really cool because that's such a great idea where pretty much basically the idea is certain like POAPs that you receive are going to be part of this like umbrella NFT that you have. So you can say, for example, you get this POAP today for seeing episode 2. Well, if you there's like 5 episodes that we're going to have of this. Mm-hmm. You get the POAP from each one, and they all kind of slot in, and you get like a different tier NFT, I guess, and that can allow you to in the future, like, oh, you watched one, well, you get the basic membership, or you watched all 5, well, you get the ultra platinum one, and you get extra perks or whatever. I mean, it's a silly example, but it's kind of within that line of thought. But yeah,
I suppose I'm getting a message. We didn't read the command, which is fair. It's on the ticker.
Yep.
Right
Rev
here.
is here. So type ! Rev is here. And if you have your YouTube or Twitch account linked to the rev.gg platform, when you click on that claim link, it should say that you're eligible for the POAP today, and you just type in your wallet address, ENS domain, whatever, and it should allow you to mint. Again, make sure that you are connected to Rev with your YouTube account if you're on YouTube, or you are connected on your Twitch account if you're doing it from Twitch.
If something doesn't feel like it's working, you can unseat your account and reseat your account. That's what we were told if you are having issues this time around. So
it worked flawlessly for me.
Yeah, those tweaks went in.
Let's see here. Yeah, I would say if you have it connected on Twitch, you could actually go to POAPathon. Pardon me. You can go to twitch.tv/POAPathon. You can do the command there, and it should work. Just as long as you have, if you have an account linked and you properly do it from that platform, it should work. So like if you have your Twitch linked, but you're doing it from YouTube, it may not work because it's a different platform. And vice versa. If you have your YouTube linked, but you're trying to do it from Twitch, it may not work.
So this is a beautiful POAP that Austin commissioned via POAPathon. And I believe the artist, what I'm hearing is Crocus. Very cool.
Yeah, this POAP is great. They're like sitting, hold on, let me open up the gallery so I can see exactly. I believe it's like the little dog, the Rev dog, and it's like we're at the table, and we're just speaking. It's really cool. I think it was great. Art design, like that's like a really good template for like an interview style POAP too, right? Like being able to get the mascots in there and you're just having a conversation like, oh yeah, that's great. I love it.
It actually kind of reminds me of a lot of like some of the swag and stuff or stickers, you know, at EthDenver, which they would take their kind of brand mascot and then they would put it next to a buffacorn.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of cool like that. So the claim window is closed. I hope everyone got it. If there were technical issues, I believe it's recorded from what Austin was saying. So you will go to rev.gg. I don't know the URL actually.
I think it's like /unclaimed or something like that.
It's /unclaimed at some point. So yeah. What do you think, Mr. Mojo?
I mean,
who do we have up next, man. By the way? Who's on episode 3?
I believe it is POAP that's going to be on.
Right.
It's going to be Amanda and Britton from the curation team. And that is actually, we took that in the conference. So people will be able to see our interview where we kind of just set up shop and recorded our interviews. We couldn't do them live, but we were able to get footage and get them done. So that's what we're going to be sharing next. It's going to be POAP, then Get POAP, then Grid Plus, if I'm not mistaken, on the order. And that's going to be the POAP interview is going to be next Tuesday. That is the 28th of March, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the 28th of March, and it's going to be also at 1 p.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. UTC. So keep a lookout. If that's what you're looking to do, you're looking to hang out with us some more, you'll be able to get another opportunity to do so next Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait. That was a great interview, and we're actually going to start to get into the conference interviews. I know the first 2 episodes were, well, we had live with Nixo, and then we had Austin pop in for today, but it was pre-recorded. But yeah, we're going to start with episode 3. We're going to start getting into the actual conference interviews that we did. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Should be.
Yeah.
Are we going to relaunch that? Thank you for just attending in general, POAP. I
don't think we have that. I'm not sure.
Oh, or are we not able to do that? The one that we sent, that second POAP that we sent out last time. So we had the e-sticker one, and then we had like the general. You watch POAPathon live, or are we not able to send that out?
That's from us. There's internal communication going on.
I would like to be able to give that one out too, for the people who did not get the opportunity last time.
I don't know if both didn't work last time. Yeah, I don't think so. But there are instructions in the POAPathon Discord for claiming if you were around last week. Both on YouTube didn't work.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that was because of that username thing that was going on that Austin was able to fix because he's very attentive and a good developer.
Yeah. Okay. We will answer questions in Discord after. Okay. Reading chat here. But we're going to go ahead and, I think, close down. Any final thoughts, Mr. Mojo?
Nope, just excited to see everybody next Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess we'll also announce that in the Discord, on Twitter, normal places, just so you can come hang out with us again as we show off and showcase what Poep was doing at EthDenver. So, all right.
Yeah, it's really great. There was a lot of people from POAP out there. So pretty exciting. We got to meet a handful and they're all really nice. So very exciting. I guess we're gonna call it.
All right.
Thanks everybody for attending today. I really appreciate it. If you didn't get your POAP, head to the Discord and let us know.
We'll attempt to troubleshoot you. Yeah.
What the problem is, and we'll try to get it figured out. So,
but all right. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.